Hi guys, how are you doing today? Ready for new stories Drama King has for you? I have 3 today. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I've been with my girlfriend Belle for about 6 months now, and am completely in love with her. We met at a local venue seeing a punk show. We fell for each other hard and quickly. She's basically my dream girl. She's a talented artist, intelligent, easygoing. We share the same music tastes and lifestyle. She's a wonderful mom to a 3-year-old girl whom I adore. She's exactly my type physically, even has modeling history. We have a strong connection, amazing S-life. Our communication has always been everything I never had with previous partners. She's selfless. We have a blast together. We've been talking about moving in together. I had been looking at rings online because I've been fantasizing to ask this woman to marry me. But now I'm confused about absolutely everything. She made it clear from the start that she is a lone wolf. She's been estranged from her family for years, no contact with her parents or siblings, and divorced from her daughter's dad. They co-parent and share custody, though. She's lived on her own since she was a teenager. She never wanted to give more details, so I didn't ask too much. Except, Belle now has her dad in her life. This happened about 2 years before we met. All 3 of us live in an East Coast city. The story Belle told me is that she never knew who her father was. They met for the first time just a few years ago. Let's call him Reed. And have been close since, with some up and downs due to Reed's alcoholism. And some mental health problems that is the result of some minor brain damage from a motorcycle accident 20 years ago. And all of the emotions from not meeting your dad until adulthood. Reed is also an artist and musician. Belle and him look like they are cut from the same piece of cloth. He has a black mohawk and she has black hair. They wear the same leather jackets and Doc Martens, tattoos, etc. I remember being amazed on how similar they are for her not being raised by him. They have lots of inside jokes, and you can see how much they love and care for one another. They have traveled together. They have supported each other through the death of a close friend. They seem to know each other inside and out, tell each other everything. They also have a group of friends together, and everyone acknowledges Reed as Belle's dad. She openly calls him dad. The 3 of us would get together once in a while for cocktails, going to shows, etc. He was always friendly toward me. Belle mostly spent time alone with him at his apartment, watching foreign films and independent films. Not my thing, but a hobby they both share. But always welcomed me and invited me to join. Fast forward to last week. We haven't seen Reed for a bit since the whole lockdown. I've been staying at Belle's house a lot during this time. Belle mentioned a story from a vacation they took together in Madrid last year and was looking at photos in her phone. What caught my eye was a photo of my girlfriend and her dad kissing on the lips in front of a scenic statue. Now, I've never seen them kiss on the lips before, so immediately made my heart drop into my stomach. Belle kept scrolling like it never happened, and when I asked for her to go back, she didn't want to. I asked why they were kissing each other like that, and she pretended to not know what I was talking about. After scrolling back to the photos, she laughed and said, "Oh, we were just taking a cute photo. Everyone there kisses like that. Don't be weird or gross." I pushed it away from my mind. Fast forward to yesterday, and I noticed Belle is angrily texting for hours fighting with her dad. She would say things under her breath like he's ducking drunk, and brain damage isn't an excuse for being an a-hole. She didn't want to talk about the nature of the argument, and I did my best to cheer her up, and we made some strawberry daiquiris and had a relaxing rest of the night. Fast forward to today. We decided to go over to Reed's historic apartment to help him move some furniture for some repairmen to work on some loose floorboards. This is the first time I've been over to his place. We're sitting on the couch drinking some beer, resting off all the heavy lifting we did. Belle and I are snuggled up together, and I give her a kiss on the lips. Reed stands up from the couch quickly and says, "Yeah, I can't do this. I thought I could handle this, but I can't handle this." Belle's eyes get wide, and she quickly grabs her things and stated that we are leaving. I ask if everything is okay. Reed says, "Are you going to tell him?" And my girlfriend grabs me by the arm and says, "Let's go." As we got back to her car, the floodgates open. Belle is crying and cursing, and I am asking her what Reed meant. Belle warned me it's really ducked up. She explains that Reed isn't her dad. Her biological dad and her mom are still together and both raised her back in her hometown. East Coast city. She stated she never lied about being estranged from them. Her parents were basically neglectful. Her dad was physically there, but a workaholic and emotionally distant. She has daddy issues. Her words, not mine. Reed is actually her ex-boyfriend. Note, not her ex-husband, father of her daughter, just to be clear. And they were best friends and in love. But when it didn't work out, due to their age difference and his mental instability, alcoholism, they decided they wanted to still be in each other's life. Belle told Reed she wishes he was her father because she doesn't have one. And somehow they came upon some kind of agreement of being a type of unconventional family together. Problem being, Reed is still in love with Belle and occasionally has unpredictable outbursts, which is what happened when we were over there. I'm in shock. Through tears, she basically said, from what I could remember, "I love Reed, and he's my best friend, and we never were able to make a relationship work. It was toxic as duck, and we couldn't just stay friends because we kept getting back together. I thought if he was my dad, it would be different." I yelled at her why she would lie to me about something like this. I questioned if she was cheating on me with him. I asked her how long this whole dad thing had been going on. I said some things I'm not proud of, like, "You two both sound equally mentally ill." What triggered me to say that was thinking about how even her daughter was calling him Grandpa Reed after her witnessing them being a couple. What the duck? She told me she wasn't expecting her and I to get serious. Once she realized our relationship was the real deal, she got scared about coming clean, and she didn't want to lose Reed. She said she never cheated on me with him, and that this whole dad-daughter thing has been going on for about 7 months, right before me and her met. Also, all their friends witnessed them being a couple, then breaking up and transitioning into this weird father-daughter dynamic. So everyone knew, except me, that Reed isn't her ducking dad. I told her it's done, and I went home, and I've been a mess for hours now. I feel like my world just got turned upside down. Belle has been texting me she will kick Reed out of her life for good if I take her back. That she is able to see herself spending the rest of her life with me and how regretful she is. That she will go to therapy to talk about her abandonment issues from her parents. When I didn't respond right away, she started sending me aggressively sexual things, telling me to come over and that she needs my D. Which isn't unusual for us. But during this time right now, it's ducking with my head. What do I do? This girl has got some serious problems right now, and she needs a lot of help. She's got abandonment issues, attachment issues, separation issues. OP has already met and spent substantial amount of time around her daughter. He was talking about moving in together, and he's been considering proposing, and they've only been together for 6 months. This was a red flag. Things got way too invested way too fast. At 6 months, she should be just now ready for OP to meet her child. She's looking for something to fill some gaps, and she's doing it in a very unhealthy way. OP needs to take care of himself and get out of the relationship. She needs to seek therapy and treatment. So, I was hanging out with a friend when the subject arrived at my ex-fiancé. Then, I realized this history was too juicy to not be shared. So, back in the day, I started buying Bitcoin. I wasn't a serious buyer. I just thought it was a neat thing. I had just proposed to my ex, and things were pretty good. I started learning more about the whole concept of a decentralized currency, how modern banking is destroying the economy, and government-produced currencies have been melting through the years. It just made so much sense. So I started seriously buying more. At first, my ex didn't mind. She used to make condescending comments about me buying Monopoly money and how stupid it sounded. Things started to go sour when I told her all my savings were now in Bitcoin. She was livid, called me an immature, irresponsible man-child. How dare I put our future together in jeopardy buying stupid things? I tried to explain to her many times the concepts behind it and how a currency that is deflationary by default had to increase its value. She never bought any of it, always with condescending comments about my cognitive abilities. I reminded her that it were my savings on the line. I would never demand or ask for her to invest in something she wasn't comfortable with. She argued that it didn't matter the money was mine. We were starting a future together, and I had to consider our financial security before putting my money into stupid things. We were never the same after that fight. After that, maybe a bit out of spite, I doubled down on Bitcoin. I sold my car and bought more. I was overweight and lost 25 pounds biking to work. We started to resent each other more day after day. About a year after the big fight, I discovered she was ducking a coworker of hers. A shoulder to cry on became a D to ride on. After a nasty fight, she took the ring off, threw it at me, saying, "I hope when you're bankrupt and alone, you finally realize how stupid you are." She started dating the coworker not long after. Her family sided with her and all hate my guts. Those were tough times. The price kept going down. I doubted myself many times, but I held on. Needless to say, my investment paid off. After the first surge, I sold some of it, made profit over my initial investment and kept some, and then bought back when it hit 5K. I won't go into details about my finances, but let's just say I really don't have to worry about money anymore. My ex became just a distant memory after so much happened. Last week, I met an old friend that used to live abroad. He is a common friend of me and my ex. We had a good time catching up until the topic became my ex. Apparently, she married that coworker, had a couple of kids, and was living the life she thought impossible with me. Good for her, I thought. Well, that was the case until her husband's business went under because of the pandemic, and she found out about his affair with a 20-year-old sugar baby. Now, they're amidst a nasty divorce procedure and financial trouble. I would be lying if I didn't say I feel just a bit happy about her demise. It is the cherry on top of my whole story. It just makes it too juicy not to share. I'm thinking about sending her a Christmas card this year. OP should skip the Christmas card and keep it classy. Living well is the best revenge, and OP is already doing it. I've been dating this guy for almost 4 years. We met in college, did long distance when I graduated a few years ago, lived in the same city for a bit, and now we're long distance again. About 5 hours apart in 2 different states. We see each other once a month for a few days and alternate each month. This month was my turn to visit him. We're both living with our parents to save money for our wedding and a big move planned in 2018. We work full-time. So when we visit one another, we're visiting each other's family too, which is no problem. He loves my family, and they love him. And his family likes me, I think. Anyway, we come from different socioeconomic statuses. He grew up poor, was a first-gen college student, and I was upper middle class, and both my parents have 2+ degrees. This has never really been an issue until recently. Last month, my boyfriend was doing some house renos, and his mom kept dodging the bills she agreed to pay. When he finally confronted her, she said, "Well, I don't have money like your girlfriend's parents. Sorry, I'm not good enough." She's known to say things like this a lot, as it relates to his friends, other family members, and his brother's friend's girlfriend. So her saying that wasn't shocking. She had just never said it about me and my family. My boyfriend has been trying to unpack those feelings with her for years. His mom is so smart, works hard, but has just had an incredible amount of bad luck. Job loss, hospital debt, a live-in dad with dementia, and a mom and husband who passed away in the last 2 years from health issues. She just can't catch a break. Now, their house needs some work. The first thing he did was make sure he got all the rats, bugs out of the home. He sets traps, brought in an exterminator, his uncle, and for a few months, everything was fine. I stayed there when I visited. I didn't complain. We made do. I've been doing this for 4 years. No complaints, no snide remarks. We just made sure to spend most of our time outside the house. My boyfriend mentioned some mice had come back a month or so ago, but he thought he had got them all. But they multiply like crazy, and his mom leaves trash everywhere. Fast forward to last night. He goes to grab me a water, and a mouse darts out of the fridge. I lose it. I run to his room, shut the door, and start looking up hotels. His mom comes in and asks if I'm okay, and I say yes. She leaves, and her and my boyfriend start fighting outside the door. Background: I lived in a similar situation in college. I subleased an apartment that I didn't know was filled with rats and roaches until later. I barely slept the 5 months I spent there. Plus, I was in an abusive relationship. So the whole ordeal last night was triggering. Anyway, my boyfriend comes in, and I say I found a hotel that I will pay for and stay at for the night. He says he understands and is coming with me. We gather our things, and his mom comes in and begs us to stay. Hotels have mice and bed bugs and critters too. You can't escape them. She's not wrong, but I tend to stay in nicer places. Doesn't mean there won't be critters, but I stay in the same hotel downtown in this city and we've never had any problems. We literally dart out of the house as she's begging us not to leave. I'm in tears. My boyfriend is upset, and I can hear her yelling at her dad from the window as we get in our car, saying, "I'm a high-maintenance spoiled brat." And she might be right. I do need to humble myself. Now I'm sitting in the hotel wondering how to make it better. I can't not get along with my boyfriend's mom. And even though she's admitted to my boyfriend that she is jealous of how my family and I live, I want her to love me. She's never been disrespectful to my face, just behind my back. Still, I want to have a good relationship with her. My boyfriend is ready to cut them off, but I don't think that's the route to go. I just don't know what the solution is. I am going to apologize, but does that even matter if I stay in the hotel all weekend? Not wanting to stay in a house with mice and roaches is not spoiled and high maintenance. She doesn't have mice and roaches because she's poor. She has mice and roaches because she doesn't keep her house clean. OP did nothing wrong in this situation and definitely does not need to apologize.